22, 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Handicappers Report alongside Seth, Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino coming to you live from the backstretch at Saratoga.
9 o'clock.
And it's 9 o'clock. We have Mr. Dingling over here. Watch out for children. Ice cream time.
I got to figure out the clock.
We'll figure out. At least we're up and at 'em. A little cooler today, not much. A little breeze would be. Oh, here we go.
I don't know if this is a little.
You want something from the ice cream truck?
Yeah.
I usually got like Italian ices or
Managed to get
smart pops.
There we go.
There we go.
I don't know if it's much cooler today. I think it's also a little humid this morning as well. Or
yeah,
we're talking about maybe a little bit of
no rain at all. A little breeze would be nice.
A little rain, which in this type of weather can go either way. Cool it down or make it more steamy. So we'll watch the weather as the day progresses.
Hasn't been much rain like in the capital region. We had that one little
Monday, which is perfect. Day off,
right. Yeah,
little rain, boom.
Get it out there, etc. So, but another, very nice morning, quiet as we kicked off week 2 yesterday. Now, did we both have the jumper for almost $16 yesterday?
That price was insane. I thought
it was supposed to be the second price. I thought in the wagering, but the Dalton gang comes in with Down Royal and 15 and change.
Yeah, no.
I'm almost out for the jumps for the year. Great
run too down the stretch. Great story. I'm standing in the winner's circle, and the story is the trainer. They bred the horse and they part own it, and the trainer is married to the jockey, and the jockey got his 100th win on the 100 stakes win maybe on the horse early.
Win. That's outstanding.
100th win or 100, but. Regardless, there was a whole story, and so awesome. I'm gonna ask the trainer to come on the show this morning, and so they're taking the winner's picture, and who I think is the trainer is off hosing the horse, which is normally the groom is over there doing it. So I said to somebody to make sure, that's the trainer, right? And they said, yeah. And as I look, not only is she hosing off the horse while they're taking the win photo, she now leads the horse off to the barn. Keith McElmont, who's trying to get notes for Naira, is running down the track after her. But the groom couldn't make it, so she's doing the job. So Bernie, the jock, and her husband was interviewed in the winner's circle, and I walked up to him and I said, man, I'd love to have both of you guys on tomorrow. And he said, I'd love to do it, but we're headed back to Colonial, where their kind of jump crew is going back and forth because they're jumping down at Colonial as well, so they're going back and forth. He said, man, I'd love to come on with you, talk a little bit about it, but we'll be halfway to Colonial.
Wins the Grade 1 AP Smithwick. I mean, that's just, and good for the good guys, $15.60. A couple other stories today. I hope the people with Aunt Virginia got expressly what they wanted, because even I was like, this horse is going to get claimed. You know that Gus Rodriguez, I don't know how many shakes it was, but Aunt Virginia is going. Good job by the bettors out there. They made her second choice. I really thought that. When we were talking about it yesterday, that trip down at Delaware in the debut, it's one of those examples that I like to say, didn't win the race in the debut, but might have been the better horse. The 4-5 shot got the perfect trip, and Virginia got the overland trip. So they come up to Saratoga, maiden claiming race for $40,000. Seth was alluding to, they get the $40,000, they get the $30,000 for the purse, so they get $70,000 altogether for Aunt Virginia, and they get a win at Saratoga.
And the betting, you said, I think the betting public got it almost absolutely right, because I was just looking at pulled up the chart to get the exact odds, 3-2 versus 9-5.
Yeah.
And it was boom like that. And Virginia it was one of those where you had to watch the replay to really make your mind up.
And I've said this before, I don't think you would ever get a straight answer, and I can respect that because it'd be hard. losing that photo in the horse, though, I think makes it an awful equation. I've often thought about that. For the people that claim the maiden claimer, how bad is it when they win? And for the folks who are on the other side of the coin, lose the horse and don't get the lion's share of the purse.
First and second, 27,500 versus 10,000, so they would have taken a $17,000 hit
difference,
there.
and smaller operation. A couple other things before we get to the stakes race. Quick note: Chad Brown has 5 winners now, but this is the note I think is important. Only one favorite.
Yeah. No.
Higher Quality is the only favorite.
Investment risk. You would have.
Oh well, that was the read about that was
you would
bad.
have said that was a sure thing amongst the short prices. And you being the generic you.
I would. So I think that's good news, and Irad Ortiz has only won with 1 chalk. Higher Quality.
Oh, okay.
But
I knew Chad,
but with Irad, I think 5 of his winners have been the second choice. But just like, a bit of information out there, like Chad Brown has, really had some, I think they're all double-digit winners, as a matter of fact, except for Higher Quality. And I think Irad's favorite was the, who did it again, a couple days ago, Brad Cox dropped, Remain Anonymous, who was like 7-5 in the morning line. They bet down to 3-5. Brad Cox pulled that move again, right? Second race yesterday. Maria's Fortune.
Yeah.
Short price. So he, I think that gives him 4 and ties Christophe Clement for second now, as Chad Brown got a winner. And the winner race every single day for Christophe Clement ended. I must confess, I don't know if he had an entry yesterday, but and the big story of the day, I think fair to say, was the stakes race.
That was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And I was thinking about this. I do not usually get into the stories of horse racing. It's fine. But I was just thinking, because I actually know him. He almost won an Eclipse Award.
If the guys in the control room can pull it up, I went down. We're going to have Ed Fazone on later, who won. But Erica Miller came up in the press box afterwards and said, "Give me your email address." And if the guys in the control room could pull up the picture of me and Ed after the race, because I had talked to him before the race, obviously.
Sure.
I know him too, and just this an upset like that in the stakes race with local owners, and always a lot of fun. And so as I said.
Also, and like I said, this is going back like 30 years. I mean, they have a.
There we go.
Oh my goodness, they have. That's a great picture. That might be the Eclipse Award-winning picture. You two guys.
Yeah, but I went down afterwards.
That's outstanding.
Because just he
Who took the picture?
Erica Miller from the Gazette.
I was going to say the quality of that picture is outstanding.
Yeah, as I say, she came up in the press box.
I'd say Eddie hasn't changed in 25 years. That's what he looked just like that 25 years ago. Yeah. But the thing that I was thinking was, they have been friends with Gary Siaka for like so long. If I had the story right, I think it happened in public, so I guess if you Gary arranged it for Ed's brother to get married in the paddock at Saratoga like 30 years ago. So they've been friends like forever during Gary's rough patches and everything. And I'll tell you one thing, and once again, I don't usually follow the stories. So now I'm watching the winner's circle because I want to see how many people from Eddie I know. And the embrace he gave Gary Siaka could tell
he was emotional in the winner's circle.
Yes, that was it. It is such a great story. You were talking about a young man who's loved horse racing his whole life, has bet horses, done everything, and I don't know if this was a lifetime goal, but it's probably pretty high to win a stakes race at Saratoga. When you're a kid trying to scrap together money to come up here to bet to get in the building when you're a teenager, and you keep following it through, that to me is a great story.
And again, 10 o'clock, we're going to have Ed on with us at the zone.
Hope he brings that program.
I hope he brings some fried clams.
Okay, the food angle. There's a surprise from The Bachelor. I'm trying to look to get a little grub into.
But again, we'll have him on. Also, Dave Brennick from the Daily Racing Forum will join us, and Naj Thompson, the executive director of New York Thoroughbred Breeders. It's Aftercare Day, so the breeders and New York Thoroughbred Horsemen and NYRA kind of teamed up to highlight some second careers. They're going to have some demonstrations over on the front side. We'll talk a little bit about that. And just New York breds and New York breeding with Naj, who worked for Naira for a long time and within the past couple of years moved over to the New York Thoroughbred Breeders. Great guy and really fun to talk to as well. So it should be a good show at 10 o'clock. But yeah, Dream Central yesterday, I will note, in the winner's circle, I laughed.
Who beat me, and I didn't feel so bad.
Oh, no, exactly. I had the horse down in the third spot, but I was
Great
standing
run.
next to Mike McAdam from the Gazette, and Mike says, yeah, he's, what are the numbers? Yeah, 0 for 6 against maidens, 2 for 2 in stakes races, his Dreams. Broke the maiden in a stakes race, the start before 39-1, and then a nice price yesterday in a Saratoga stake. So, yeah, fun story.
Tremendous. I mean, it's this. I mean, I don't know how many of that stories have been repeated. Like, you went to a racetrack since you were a kid, and obviously an A-level racetrack, and you win a stakes race. I think it's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
We ready for the DePaula Play of the Day, or you have anything else?
Yeah, I don't think so.
All right, let us go to the DePaula Play of the Day.
Think DePaula and come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click.
This week, celebrate with savings. Drive Silverado, just $3.99 a month. Yes, $3.99 a month.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Hey everybody, time for the DePaula Play of the Day for Thursday at Saratoga. I'm coming to you though from Asbury Park, New Jersey. We're going to be at Monmouth the next couple of days broadcasting leading into Haskell. Meanwhile, Thursday in the third race, we got a 50,000 non-winners at 2 lifetime that's going a mile and a 16th on the grass. And Mark Cassie's got a horse, a homebred for Mrs. Weber, Cash in a Flash, 9-2, and that's a very attractive price on this one that showed some talent on the synthetic. And being an Uncle Mo out of the Street Cry mare, Cry and Catch Me, who in fact, if I'm thinking back, I think I'm in the win picture with Cry and Catch Me when she broke her maiden at Saratoga. But be that as it may, Cash in a Flash, a gelding, and we could use some cash in a flash. We've been over 3 so far and got to get on the board. So let's try the 3 in the third, Cash in a Flash, the DePaula Play of the Day. Good luck, everybody.
When you think trucks, think DePaula. Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click.
This week, celebrate with savings. Drive Silverado, just $3.99 a month. Yes, $3.99 a month.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, the Handicappers Report. I think, did we both have Pierre Bodie yesterday?
I had a great day, so I had pure
Yeah,
Bodie.
I think we did.
I went 5 for 10 and
please
the
tell me you were the
$2 return
person
was
in the TO.
$51, so it was a nice day, very nice day. I
Two
think all of them-
stunners.
I think all of
Yeah,
them.
a $36 return on investment day and a 56.
No. My total return was 51. Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah,
36 the first day.
Oh,
So
right,
that's
okay.
2
I thought you were
tremendous
referring to-
days of
No,
it. We've only
I was
been racing.
perfectly happy with it. Although I mucked up my betting a little bit. I should have been a much nicer day, but that's all right.
Well, and I see it in more places now, but Seth, I've been saying it for 25 years when we were in the old 510 Smith Street, worked in a room upstairs, and I used to say, if there's a greater being outside this door and they ask me, I have to choose between being a great handicapper and a great bettor, never doubt which one you're supposed to choose, a great bettor. And the example I've often used, Seth, is the amount of time, like in the Breeders' Cup, that I spend handicapping, which is a lot. I said, but then I spend usually the day before, because I'm done, post position's been drawn, the day before I take a legal pad and I start parsing out my bets, because I know when I get to the Breeders' Cup, even though I'm now 59, I'm going to be so excited, things can get lost. And when they're in fair weather places, I don't expect the weather to change, and I'll go right away as soon as the windows open up, and I'll just bet, or on the phone, just bet it all out. But I took a day with my exactas, and I've told people this, and it's the only day I advocate this, is I bet 5 horse exacta boxes on Breeders' Cup Day, and it's worthwhile, folks. But
Everybody
Being a
has their
big
own
bettor is-
method, and I think a lot of people don't like the box to begin with.
Yes, I'm in that group. Except
I'm with you on. I would say on big days, definitely Derby Day, Breeders' Cup Day, but I think there are other days as well where I'll go 5. If you look up and 2 of the horses in that 5 are sitting at 20-1, and you think these are legit potential to hit, then I'm willing to take the swing a little bit. I mean, for $1, you can get in and do that for $20. And the 2 20-1 shots come in.
Right.
You wind up with
my one thing is, like, I've said this before, it's like I build up a bankroll. Like, I know that I'm basically going to play about 10, $60 exactas. So there has to be that fun going forward. So when you get there, you're not like feeling nervous about, you're prepared for it, and I think it makes you better. I've told this story before. One day when I was out of San Diego, I did the show for you. I pulled into a Wendy's, did the show, and I love this horse in the mile. And you said to me, well, Anthony, I've had like 3 people on and they all love him. So now I'm looking elsewhere. And the elsewhere I found was Tourist, who was about $26, etc. Let's kick off the opener. 3-year-olds and up, 6 figures, Seth, $105,000 in the purse, going 6 furlongs.
Gotta love that.
Absolutely.
Specialist going for $105,000. 6, 1, 2, and 3 for me. I put up to the mark on top. I printed my PPs up before the morning line. Yeah, but I was going to say I pulled up the subsequent Equibase, and I was a little bit shocked that this one was taking the action. But there are things to like. Todd Pletcher, not the least of them. Not this time as a sire. And again, I'll update during the meet. I'll update every week or so, but these are maybe a week old. 24 first-time starters this year, 6 wins, a couple of seconds. So good numbers for the sire. The dam has produced a sibling called Time Is Yours. 5th and 11th, not great there, but 1 in the 3rd start. If they can win in the first 2 or 3, I think that's win early. So I tilted in that direction. Drink the Wind, experience counts. The Wayne Catalano runner comes in off a couple of good tries at Churchill. And Frat Pack and Insomniac. Insomniac I could have moved up. Like I say, I wasn't sure what the odds were going to be on the 2 Pletcher horses, so I was a little bit surprised about up to the mark because I thought Insomniac was a little bit live. Go Sapper's okay with firsters. Pletcher's okay. Workouts are okay. There was a sibling called Ammonite that won its career debut. That was at Laurel a couple of years ago. Made special weight going 6 furlongs. So I think Insomniac is very playable. But Frat Pack, they paid over $400,000. Chad Brown, it's Peter Brandt. So I put that one in the 3rd spot. But either one of those, I could have moved up a little bit. This is going to be an interesting race, I think. They're 3-year-olds.
Interesting betting race. See how the people go.
They're 3-year-olds, but 3 of these being first-time starters from potent outfits are making belated debuts, and so you question that a little bit as well. But I have it 6-1.
And expensive runners.
Yeah.
And if Insomniac had ever been put through a sales ring, probably would have come back a good price also. I like up to the mark. I'm on the outside here with the first 6-5 on the morning line for the offspring of Not This Time. To me, has an advantage for Irad Ortiz. Maybe it'll be his 2nd winning favorite. Frat Pack is my 2nd pick. First time starter, an offspring of Upstart. Goes out for Chad Brown and the Familiar Silks of Peter Brandt. And for 3rd, Drink the Wind. Making the 4th career start. I think that's a big edge. If it's enough, I don't know. One thing I will say about the stallion more than ready, Seth. Very few stallions have ever had a 20-year run. And I'm talking even like my favorite Seattle Sioux, all of them. They seem to peter out. I say about a 10-year window is my rule of thumb. Medaglia d'Oro's at the 10-year window, etc. But More Than Ready has been potent from day 1. And still about 20 years later.
I would say, because I've never done a deep dive and studied it, but anecdotally, I wonder if they're just flashier pennies that the good mayors go to. And so as you get 10 or 12 years out, you maybe aren't getting the best mayors anymore.
It's a legitimate thought, but the other thing was the price usually stays up there. So I think, but More Than Ready have outstanding juvenile and an outstanding stallion.
Second race at Saratoga this afternoon, a starter handicap. 9 furlongs is the distance. Your thoughts on the second?
We don't see very many of these conditions, Seth.
No.
We see starter allowances, which probably, last 7 or 8 years, we didn't have them really ever before that. But starter handicaps, even rarer, sort of like a dodo bird, but not quite. Short field of 6. Remember, it's going to start just about on the turn, once around the dirt course, and naturally, I am outside. We have the same horses. We just jumble them up a little bit. 4-6-5 for me, and No Burn is my top pick. Oscar Barrera the third this runner comes off of consecutive 1-turn, 1-mile races. I like that, Seth, because I think we have the speed that I would prefer to see, and I'm hoping Dylan Davis just goes forward with this runner and dictates the race. For second, number 6, Palace Coupe. Joe Sharp sends out this runner first off the $25,000 claim with Luis Saez in the saddle. Got to think this horse is going to go a little bit too. I was thinking maybe they'll drop in and not press me. And for third, number 5, Perceived, the 2-1 morning line favorite. Rudy Rodriguez sends out this runner after an impressive starter handicap win down at Belmont. Irad Ortiz gets them out 4-6-5 in a race set that I think 5 of the 6 are, wouldn't. How do you play a pick 4 with these guys? It's like 5 of the 6 are very live in here, but 4-6-5.
I have the same mix. 5-4-6-1. I Perceived on top. Folks watching up. This is one of those why not right back races. Now, when I normally say that, it's the same condition. They win in this condition. They come back in the very same condition. Why not right back? This one was a little bit lower, but not enough to think that's a big obstacle. But yeah, No Burn is very good. Palace Coup off the claim for Joe Sharp. I think has shown good form so far this season and is going to fit nicely with this group. So I'm right in the same boat. 5, 4, 6, and 1 in the second.
Joe Sharp's winner in off the AE list.
Uh-huh.
I know you've mentioned from time to time you wish the racing form would denote main track only. Are you also an eligible list guy?
No, I don't think that's...
But the MTO you like?
The MTO I think is
have?
essential. It's clearly it makes a big difference. To know, was he, trying to get in on the grass, and so the switch up makes, or was he aimed for the dirt? To me, that's a no-brainer that they should denote that.
I agree. On to the third race. We're going to be on the inner turf course at a mile 16. Restricted claimers in for 50, non-winners at 2 lifetime.
6, 5, 7, and 3 up with St. Joe Louis on top. It's Peter Brandt, it's Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, ran down at Tampa this winter where Chad was running a lot of his turf horses and ran pretty well against Allowance Company, and then maybe they just got realistic and said, hey, we are a top-class outfit, and this is not one of our top-class runners. Excuse me, we'll go down to Monmouth.
They take the feet away from them?
That's right.
No.
Tried to drop in for a tag, and they ran pretty well there at a very short price. Another shot for a tag. I think the horse is a good fit with this group today. Icarus in the second spot. Brad Cox trainee getting some notable class relief that probably makes this one the one to beat. And then in the third spot, Al's Prince. Al's Prince is kind of interesting. We'll see if this one goes. But on the quick turnaround, I couldn't ignore the Jeffrey Engelhardt horse off the claim. I think I'm always taking an extra look at horses that come back in a week or less. And so we'll see if the horse goes today. But if so, I think very, very intriguing. 6, 5, 7, and 3.
My one thought for Al's Prince on the negative side is he claims for $35,000. He comes back in 6 days. He immediately gets to do whatever he wants after this because he ran for the higher price tag. But I thought the race had no chance against Jewelstone. That was second day of the meet. And I think Al's Prince has a fighting chance. It's in the main body. There's 7 scheduled for the turf. St. Joe Louis. Have you ever come across a horse that's lost 4 consecutive time at odds on? I was trying to rack my brain thinking 4. This horse has been favored in every career start. I think that yes, and has lost 4 consecutive time at odds on. I couldn't think of a horse 4 consecutive because you would figure eventually he's not going to be odds on. That's going to be the first part. But 4 consecutive, and he's clearly the horse to beat here out of outstanding stallion Kingman. And for third, I have the 5. So it's 7, 6, 5, 2 races in a row. Seth and I very similar. But I thought Al's Prince, if it's not just an accounting thing where he wants to get through having to run a horse at a higher price after you claim it, I'm go. 6 days, very rare in this day and age. Not in the old days. Remember the old days? If it was like 2 weeks, you'd be like, where you been?
Well, Rick Dutrow had the back-to-back stakes days.
3 days.
Wasn't it back-to-back? Wasn't it the next day?
Oh yeah, that horse down in the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
I thought it got Willie B. Yes, and I always said my favorite part about that story was on day one, and I think it was like Delaware was one of the tracks. And I'm trying to think that the part was in the second day he ran better. He ran second. Delaware in someplace. Two well-known 3-year-old stakes races, but he ran third on Saturday and second on Sunday. He's one of the very few that have made 2 appearances on the old Horses and Courses show.
Oh,
in one show. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more live from Saratoga.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
Having trouble finding us? It's actually quite simple. Whether online or on your TV, it's never been easier to watch and wager on championship horse racing with Capital OTB. Simply log on to capitalotbbet.com. There you can watch our morning shows, live stream races, and wager on our state-of-the-art wagering platform. You can also watch from the comfort of your home on Spectrum Cable Channel 1250 or Fios Channel 467, and win more with Capital OTB.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report, and as always, after the first break, it is time for the Dark Horse Play of the Day, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile, 445 Broadway in Saratoga Springs. I continue to say it. Stop. Let them know as well. But a great place to just swing by if you're downtown and browse. I guarantee you will enjoy yourself. There's clothing and home decor, but also some racing memorabilia that's fun to look at. Go down the street to their sister store, Impressions of Saratoga, browse around there as well. And again, I will remind you, they're playing a little across the board on the Dark Horse Play of the Day throughout the meet. They will be donating proceeds to the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation, so it's a fun little segment we have here during the Handicappers Report every morning. But more importantly, hopefully we give out some good information. Dark Horse Play of the Day yesterday took a lot of action. I wondered if the 10-1 was going to be a little generous. It wound up taking some action. I think we were off at 6-1, but did not run. You knew out of the gate. And yesterday, because of the heat, and maybe a little today too, sometimes I wonder if horses just don't react well. And because I think the horse was better than the result yesterday. Not necessarily a winner, but...
Now, let me say this. As a guy who, as I said, has to look under to see if it's a colt or filly, the answer is yes. Okay. I don't have to ask anybody. I mean, I think for me in my lifetime, the most famous horse was the greatest turf horse I ever saw, who was Manila. And Leroy, I mean, rare that a trainer made it so publicly aware. He's like, he hates the heat. I'm not going to do it. And if you remember, he ran in the old UN handicap when it was run at night in the summertime at Atlantic City. Even ran it as a 3-year-old, won it back-to-back years. And I have to tell you, that Sunday in the Bernard Baruch, I really thought he was going to scratch because it was a hot day and he did not put out. But there's no doubt. My wife asked me that question yesterday. I said, honey, I think if we could talk to Mr. Ed, he would say they like running in January, February, March. That's when they like it. I think heat is a problem.
So I do think so, and that may have been the case yesterday, but we'll see. But today, as I said earlier, I printed up my PPs before morning line odds, but I subsequently checked, and I knew we were going to get a little bit of a price here. dark horse play of the day. Race number 6, maiden specials going 5.5. I have number 1, Noble Connection. Goes out for Kenny McPeak. He can certainly have horses ready early. I think typically he likes to get a run, but he can have them ready. This one is by Connect. Connected is pretty good first outsider. 23 first-time starters this year. 4 wins, couple of seconds, couple of thirds. So in the money, better than a third of the time. Dan produced a full sibling called Lena or Lena Lady. Third in debut and then won the second start. It was down in Puerto Rico. But I thought there was win early, top and bottom. It's kind of a fun little race, but I didn't think there were necessarily any world beaters in here. And I thought it was a race where maybe you could play around a little bit with a horse with a little bit of breeding and interesting connections. Steady string of workouts, none of them jump off the page. But again, with that breeding and in a race, as I say, with no world beaters and a 10-to-1 morning line price, our dark horse play of the day for this Thursday, race number 6, number 1, Noble Connection. So good luck there. All right, let's move on. Race number 4 on Thursday afternoon. Maiden Specials. This is one of those races that I think was a great addition to the Saratoga calendar, certainly, but really racetracks around the country. Some of them have picked up on it in that it is based on that auction price. So they have to have sold for less than a certain price, which allows horses to come in that keeps them away from some of the, $1 million sales prices or whatnot. So again, I think it was a nice addition to the condition book. Main specials in race 4 going 5.5.
And I think it's been met with such, people agree. It's, I guess, the short point of it. And in case anyone's wondering, I'm not being rude. I am now, things like this, desperately trying to find out the Richard Dutch horse now, because that will drive me cuckoo. And also, and Brian Edo had pointed this out, it didn't originally happen, but it is now happening where in the PPs, you're getting that lowercase r in the box in front of it, which has always indicated a restricted race. Usually the Stallion Series comes up with that when they come back, but it's coming up now for these races where there's a sales ceiling. 3-5-2, Forbidden Secret for Todd Pletcher going out for Red Oak Stable, an offspring of Outwork. Solid enough workouts for the debut. Only paid $47,000 for this run. Irad Ortiz takes the mount for second. Another first-time starter, number 5, V Mart, goes out for the career debut, an offspring of one of my favorite stallions and runners, Hard Spun. Makes the career debut. Solid gate workout for the debut. And for third, the veteran in the group, number 2, Smart Prize. And Seth, there you see it. June 26th down at Churchill Downs, maiden special weight, preceded by the R in the box, ran third at 25-1, 3-5-2 in the fourth.
I'm in the same boat, pretty much. I tossed the 1 in the mix. I have a 3, 1, 2, and 5. I put Forbidden Secret on top. It is Todd Pletcher. Outwork, a nice sire of win early types, 34 first-time starters this year. 6 wins, couple seconds, 4 thirds. I will say the siblings aren't win early. And that was almost enough to make me tilt away from this one. But it's Todd Pletcher, and the sire is live. And again, it's one of those where I didn't see anything else that really thought should be standing out here. So I put that one on top, again, with a little bit of trepidation. Run Poppy comes out of the third place finish at 4-5 for Steve Asmussen. We know his horses can improve second time out. There was a sibling called Razine Dubai that won a debut in Dubai. So I think this one is going to be very live in the second start, given those circumstances. Mark Cassie has a Smart Prize by Connect, good win early type of sire off third place finish in debut. V-Mart could be a little bit interesting as a debuter, but for me in the fourth, 3, 1, 2, and 5.
And I wanted to mention Phil Serpi's first time starter yesterday, Leave No Trace, offspring of Outwork. I knew that had popped up on the old radar. 5th race on the card, Fidel Clamorous, Phillies and Maris in for 12-5, racing 6.
4, 2, 6, and 8. I'll put Greatest Love on top. Gustavo Rodriguez off the Claim horse, been very popular at the Claim box. You look down the page, it's like almost every other race this horse has been claimed. I'm always, if you watch enough, these type concern me. Claim for 25, they come back for 12-5, and I'm always a little bit, but boy, it just seems like this horse is in good form right now. square fit with this bunch if ready. I'll tilt in that direction. Aiden in the second spot off the claim. This one moves up a little bit off the claim down at Churchill. Certainly has races that are good enough, certainly in good form, going back to, Oaklawn this winter. 5 exacta finishes and 5 starts so far this year. And again, I think, claim for $10,000 last time. The races further down the page are for better prices. So I think is a square fit with this bunch. And then Song of Honor in the third spot. Hasn't been seen since Laurel in April. Moves out of the Claudio Gonzalez barn into the Ray Handel barn. Gets some class relief. Another one that's kind of like, on the move and a drop from a voided claim race leaves me, again, a little bit leery. So I had, what you would expect maybe in a 12-5 claimer, which in New York, you're getting down to the lower level. I have trepidation and some question marks, but in the fifth, 4, 2, 6, and 8.
It's amazing how much we have agreed today, Seth. We're on top is our agreement here, 4-7-2. Seth was right in his guesstimation. They list 12 races. It's been claimed 6 times lately. And Gustavo Rodriguez, who had mentioned, claimed Aunt Virginia yesterday, gets Joel Rosario back in the saddle off of a good effort. That was going for 25, but you have to stay. You can't run for this much less unless you wait 30 days. The terminology racetrack, I remember, used to be, you're in jail. So the claim was on June 19th, so now is out of that. And as Seth said, the worry is they dropped to 12-5 at Saratoga off of a second-place finish. Who makes money losing 50 cents on the dollar? But for a betting standpoint, I think he's in our mix for second. Number 7, Gun Blazing. $10,000 claim by Patrick Reynolds off Linda Rice most recently. Horse came off of a freshening. I like the comeback race. And for third, number 2, going out for Bonnie Lucas. And we talked about this earlier in the meet. Bonnie Lucas handling the Wayne Potts barn, 4-7-2 in the fifth.
There you go, leaf.
I was going to say.
Leaf blower edition here.
Andy and Anthony have to deal with the tractor behind them. We got the leaf blower over here across the street.
6 races this afternoon. Maiden specials going a quick 5.5.
4-1-2. It's pretty loud. I mean, having a leaf blower, they run loud, but that's pretty good. 4-1-2 for me. Let's see. Okay, we go a little differently. I went for. I think it's fair to say that the outsider, if you were looking at firsters at Saratoga, Arnaud Delacour, and a very fine horseman, Mid-Atlantic. Firsters, though, 16%. And I'll tell you, Seth, before there were super trainers in the world, 16% would have been a super trainer. So Trevor McCarthy, he gets them out. I'm just taking a flyer here. Most of the horses have run. I think this horse, a son of a grandson of Spicetown, Eastwood. How about Central Banker just keeping it up as a stallion? For a second, number 1, Noble Connection. Now, if I remember right, Seth, this is Magdalena Racing is Ken McPeak, right? His wife?
Well, Ken McPeak is certainly related to Magdalena Racing, yeah.
I think that's his stable's name. Maybe the wife. On debut, we break from the number 1 hole, 10-1 on the morning line. As I said, of the horses who had run, I thought the firsters were capable of running. Now, here's a buyer speed figure that could win. Now, the buyer speed figure average in the form reads 80. Well, none of the horses that have run have come close to that 80. So I'm throwing that out. And for third, number 2, Bonnie Lucas's second-time starter, debuted at 3-1. So people knew an offspring of Golden Sense. 4-1-2.
I see you didn't read the name. Yeah.
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 Yeah, like a yeah. It's like
very good.
Thank you.
For me, 1, 6, 2, and 7. Again, my dark horse play today. I put it on top at 10-1. Talked about this one earlier. Connect on top. Full sibling that won early. So we'll do that. Kara's Prince, the number 6, 15-1 on the morning line by Cairo Prince. I like Cairo Prince runners as win early types. Now, this one clearly hasn't lived up to it. But I think, like a lot of horses, the career debut, maybe we can draw a line through that as an off-the-turfer in the debut. Then they tried the turf. And I've said it a number of times. With these win early types, if they switch things up in the first 2 or 3 starts or 4 starts, maybe take another look. And to me, this maybe qualifies there. Again, the horse did start on the dirt, but it was the career debut. There's a sibling called Carpe Casanova that won its career debut. I think Cara's Prince at a price could be intriguing today. I'm going to box mine up in an exacta if these morning line numbers hold up at all. And then the number 2 in the 3rd spot, Golden Sense, again, another one of those win early sires that I like quite a bit, and I thought the first start was okay. So 6th race this afternoon, 1, 6, 2, and 7.
Now, before we go to break, do you ever make a cursory look up to see if there's some diversion in the exacta prices, one over the other, and then change your bet?
In what fashion?
Like say going one way it's $82 and the other way it's like $113. Or there's a strong disparity between the prices.
I said earlier I'm a box guy, but I play around in that fashion as well. I mean, I'll like we talked about the 5-horse box. If I look up and if those 2 20-to-1 shots are my 1-2 picks, I'm going to do much stronger boxing up those 2. You know, I'll have the 5, but I'll be much stronger there. And there are situations where I may do what you say, where my top pick is the $100 exacta with the top pick, and so I'll pop stronger just with the straight exacta. So to answer your question, I definitely do look up at the prices.
And I think when you're talking some of the lower price horses, the disparity in the exacta doesn't occur as much. But sometimes when you're talking, 12-to-1, 18-to-1, and I say this often, a horse gets lost in the wagering. And you start to see, my goodness, you have them almost shoulder to shoulder. Yet one exacta is like 50% more, 30% more than the other way. And I'm like,
the one thing I don't do that I used to do when I was a kid, because it's not offered enough anymore, but there'll be like 3 times a meet where somebody comes up to me and says, I don't compare to the Quinella prices. I don't look at that anymore. But occasionally, like I said, about 3 times a meet, somebody will say, hey, how about that Quinella? And you're like, I never.
I'm sure that channel exists somewhere. The old idea was that the Quinella was playing more than half of the exacta. That was the bet you're supposed to make. We'll be right back with the late pick 4.
It only takes one upset to make history, especially in Saratoga, the graveyard of champions, where the dark horse can overcome the odds, defeating the favorites and wowing the crowds. The smart bet is always the dark horse.
Keen Ice has got him! Keen Ice has won the Travers over American Pharoah in a dramatic
Hello everyone, I'm Scott Varley and I'm here at the West Condominiums in Saratoga Springs. And guess what? We are down to the home stretch. Everything is 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. Come make a selection of one of the greatest condos ever to be built in Saratoga Springs. We're starting in the upper 5s and the only rooftop penthouse available now under construction. Wow, just look at this patio. We have a rooftop pool, heated garage, balconies, and a gym. Call me at 518-281-6808.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Handicappers Report as it gets warmer and warmer. We are
and sunny.
The sun's broken out, so we're hoping it goes the better direction for racing today. 3-year-olds and up, optional claimers in for 80, non-owners of 3, other than 5.5 dashing on the turf.
6-5, 2 and 3, number 6 big package on top. Dave Donk off to a very nice start at the meet. This one now has 2 starts under the belt. Nice improvement, start 1 to start 2. Very often that third start back is very productive, and so I think this horse is primed for a good try. Artemis City Limits probably the one to beat off of nice win last time and some good form that seemed to have this horse primed for that good effort last time. And given what we've seen in the last 4 starts, this horse is certainly going to be in the thick of things one way or the other. Principled Stand goes out for Chad and Klarovich. Plenty of early speed, like the top horse, 3rd start back. I can make a case for that one, but on the numbers, I thought was a little bit lighter than the top 2, so I put that one down in the 3rd spot, but lightly raced, so I wouldn't be shocked to see an improved number. In the 7th for me, 6, 5, 2, and 3.
All right, I am 7, 5, 4, and nothing better. Anywhere near the 6-1 morning line, Seth, I'm very attracted to this runner. We had the situation yesterday with the George Weaver horses on the turf that ran 1-2. The morning line odds ended up getting flipped around, and it's 5-1 shot one, which is the way I prefer it to go. But nothing better is listed at 6-1 on the morning line with Irad coming off 2 races this year, won the comeback race, little regression. Now we move forward. I think this, Irad, I think nothing better is quite attractive here. I am hoping the 6-1, but I don't know. And the names have changed with that burnt orange turquoise. That looked like Safely Keps. Wasn't the name of her. That was JFB Stable. But the silks are very similar for the Jersey operation. I have Artemis City Limits for 2nd, as Seth does. Luis Saez gets the call back. Good early speed. Comes off of a victory on Independence Day. And number 4, I don't pick horses for their name, but it's a gamble. Goes out for Kelly Breen and Joel Rosario. Shortens up after a mile race, but 7-5-4.
All right, I will answer what has become the trivia question of the show for folks who maybe folks who are sitting out there thinking, I'm going to text those guys. I'm going to text those guys. You're there. And I'll give you the 2 races. Entered them in the Long Branch at Monmouth on July 16th, and the Leonard Richards Stakes the following day at Delaware. It was Golden Man from Rick Dutrow. 2 stakes, 2 days in a row.
Finished 3rd in the first one, and 2nd the next day.
And of course, the article I'm reading, the big news was the Willie Beeman quick turnaround.
What was that, Wednesday and Saturday? You won the New York bred race
Willie
on
Beeman
Wednesday.
On Sunday, and the Mike Lee.
Oh, Monday, Saturday. And then King's Bishop.
Yeah. So.
You want to hear things that when they're on that, you never won again.
Oh, wow.
It was like 0 for not 2, let's say, but never won again after the King's Bishop, yes.
All right, the 8th race this afternoon, State Bred Allowance, non-winners and 1 other than types. They will travel 9 furlongs.
What year was that? It seems like yesterday. Of course, our son's about to start driving, so it wasn't yesterday.
205.
All right. I was looking like 203, so I was close. I'm 215. Hey, we are just dance partners today, but we have it inverted in here. And, we're down inside, and we have 2 of the show. Captain's Daughter, to me, for Russell Cash, comes out of the Boiling Spring, which I think used to be a turf stakes race at the Meadowlands opening day.
Right, yeah.
Opening day. But now a dirt race at Monmouth Park, comes off of a 3rd place finish. Was runner-up in the Bowery Stakes, which is the, New York bred. I think is it the summertime sprint? I don't think there's another one. I think the Bowery is the chance for older filly mares, New York breds to sprint. Comes off a 2nd. Now we're asking the Offspring of Midshipman to go 2 turns. For 2nd, 9-5 on the morning line. Jeremiah Engelhardt sends out, "You guys are no fun." This horse is, has run at Saratoga, the Fleet Indian last year. That's a big step. The Fleet Indian is like the premier root of ground New York bred race at Saratoga, but has 2 starts this year, a sprint and a route. Got beat up 1-4 most recently, but is down inside today. Has tactical speed for Irad Ortiz. And for 3rd, number 5, Stimulus Check, comes off of a restricted allowance victory at Finger Lakes. Comes to the spot today, 215.
Yeah, I'll be rooting for Stimulus Check. Matisse Brothers,
yes.
Paul and Duke and company, and this horse debuted at Saratoga in 2020 and won in the debut for the Matisse brothers at 5-1. The cleverly named stimulus check. I mean, debuted in that pandemic year.
Yes.
When the stimulus checks would come out. So I'll be rooting for that one. But I have it 1, 2, 3, and 7. I put You Guys Are No Fun on top. Comes in from the Finger Lakes. Off a couple of good starts so far this year. The win and the close-up second last time. Captain's Daughter, stepping out of some stakes company most recently, I think is a solid and serious player in here. And then Carragate. Last couple of starts, number-wise, I think are moving in the right direction and have this one primed for a good try this afternoon as well. So for me in the 8th, 1, 2, 3, and 7.
And yesterday we had the Susie O'Kane stakes race for the New York Reds on the turf at a mile 16th, the Phillies. And today we have the Colts in the Rick Violet stakes.
4, 7, 3, and 5. Oh, by the way, that again, it's beautiful now, but they had predicted maybe a little bit of rain for today. If it does rain, I have dirt picks on the website, capitalotb.com. Go to the Handicappers Report, and there are dirt picks there. But for me, in the 9th race, 4, 7, 3, and 5. Dakota Gold on top. I had Dean Reeves on the other day, and I think he likes this horse this afternoon, and why not? Lightly raced, started the career right here at Saratoga, broke the maiden last year in an off-the-turfer, then went down to Monmouth, ran well in a stake and only the second career start. Then they tried the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Didn't run badly in there, laid off until the debut this year when finally stepping in against State Breds and won very nicely. Just looks good today off of that record so far and sticking against State Breds. Practice squad, a third last time that caps a series of second place finishes, just in the hunt far more often than not, and I think should be again today. Returning to State Bred Company, and Coinage in the third spot for Mark Cassie has been facing Open Stakes Company and has been competitive fairly often, and I think is going to be very competitive dropping in to the New York Bred Stake this afternoon. Fun race, but for me I have it 4, 7, 3, and 5.
I mean, Dakota Gold's going to be a short price here. The one thing that I'll add is, you know, I think if you were there, you're apt to really never forget it. But just a quick, at that Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, that was the double black eye for the sport moment. And Dakota Gold was loaded number 2 post position right in there, while Modern Games and everything that could possibly go bad went bad. We're watching the sunset at Del Mar with no lights. I'm like, and then, I mean, I was here for Alumuse DQ. I thought the people were, it was awful. I mean, they were like, it was terrible. And I think Dakota Gold got all the worst of it. You know, sitting there waiting, all the horses waiting, and Modern Games was just so good. I know he lost the other day, his 3-year-old race, but Charles Appleby was good at the Breeders' Cup, as he was in many places. Dakota Gold, to me, is, you know, I like the comeback race because you're expecting improvement. This horse runs a buyer best, but only marginally. But I think that's based on talent. We're expecting good things. 1 to 2 or lower today. I mean, this horse is going to get bet, Dakota Gold, don't you think?
Well, I mean, Coinage I think, stepping out of Open Company.
Yeah,
I'm a bad judge sometimes because, as I said, the last couple of years, it seems like bettors land on a horse. They land on a horse. So
that's true. Alex Sundays with Sandy, I don't think you had that runner in the mix. The offspring of Keen Ice, making the 3rd start of the year, and I like Practice Squad on the outside. Even though the short price horse, and I agree, I think it's a very competitive, nice race in the Rick Violet. 4, 2, 7. Up to our final break. Then we come back, the finale.
No matter where in the world you are, the excitement of wagering on horse racing is just a click away. You'll get live streaming, past performances, race replays, our virtual tote board, analysis and selections from professional handicappers, a simple, safe, and secure wagering platform, and best of all, you get track prices. CapitalOTBBet.com. Bet any place, anytime at CapitalOTBBet.com. And be sure to download our new mobile app from the iTunes Store or Google Play.
What if there was a way to become a better horse player? To have a better knowledge of the game? To be more successful? What if there were a way to take what you've learned, what you know, and make better decisions, better choices? In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Thursday. Let's dive back into the finale. It'll go off about 6:15 this evening. The 10th race, maiden specials, scheduled on the grass, 5.5 furlongs.
5-6-3 for me, and Margaret Burbridge is my top pick. And if you're not familiar internationally, mostly, although they have run Flaxman Holdings Limited, this is some of my favorite silks in the world, but one of the most powerful operations. I mean, they first came to my forefront with Mies going back to 1987, but Bobby Franklin used to train there. I mean, this is a powerful European operation. Wesley Ward gets this offspring of Twirling Candy for the debut. Draws the inside here. If we could just break nicely and get out, I'll take this first time starting with Irad Ortiz on top. For second, right next door in the starting gate, an offspring of American Pharaoh, number 6, American Rocket. Bill Mott sends out this runner, Junior Alvarado. Gets the call. And for third, number 3, Factor That. I like the debut at 3-1, makes the second career start. Debuted on the Tapeta down at Gulfstream Park, this offspring of the Factor. 5-6-3 in the finale.
I have a 5, 8, 2, and 6. Number 5, Margaret Burbridge, sibling called Land Biscuit, was second, third, second in the first 4 starts. Twirling Candy's good with debut runners. You have the morning line. What?
Yes.
Number 8, Determined Gesture. What are we getting there?
Number 8 is 15-1 for the Practical Joke.
Yeah, exactly. It's Practical Joke, and there's a sibling called Secret Oath that won in the second start. Sibling called Bodie Cream. Took 4 starts to win, but then ran second and won again. So this horse could be live, Determined Jester. And then Sugar Mama's Cakery goes out second time for Steve Asmussen. That's always an intriguing angle. We will wrap it up in the 10th at Saratoga, 5, 8, 2, and 6.
Warm.
And getting warmer.
All right, just...
Don't forget, up top of the hour, Racing Across America. Naj Thompson is already here, Executive Director, New York Thoroughbred Breeders. We'll talk Aftercare Day today. Come up and learn more about second careers for the horses and whatnot. And watch some of the demonstrations. That'll be fun before the races go off. Dave Grenig will talk some stakes action over the next few days with Dave. A little recap, a little preview. And then Ed Fizzone. It'll be fun to talk with Ed about the stakes win.
You mentioned offsprings. You said Secret Oath? Secret Oath?
Did I write I may have did the wrong name.
I don't, just only because that would be...
It's Sacred Oath.
Okay.
Sacred Oath. Did I say Secret? I wrote Sacred
I almost
Oath.
fell over.
I might have said Secret Oath.
We can check. We don't have to, but Sacred Oath.
It's Sacred Oath is the sibling. No, if I said the wrong thing, and
if I'm wrong, but he said it, and I thought I heard it right. I was like,
no, I wrote it down, Secret Oath, but I may have just said that.
But I cannot wait. This next hour should be a lot of fun coming up.
Yeah, looking forward to it. No question about it.
Good job. He produces.
All right.
It's getting warm, but it's beautiful out once again. You know, you talked about the rain. I was thinking, if you live in the capital district, we're all experiencing the same type of summer. I think the turf course could handle some rain.
Yeah, Monday I thought was great. Monday, we had a little drizzle, and I'm sure it helped things out. So you get it on the day off.
Stay on the network and watch, because as in this hour we've been on, it's gotten nicer out. And as we all know, in this area, it can change so quickly. But a terrific card once again. In a couple moments, we'll be right back with Racing Across America.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.